So this last video within this non-custodial portion is totally optional, and this is only if you want to up your own mediator. We'll proceed with either the assumption that you A, have permissions to set DNS entries for Amazon via Route 53, or we'll be able to ask someone to do this for you. So to begin with, like as per usual, we will clone down the areas accreta repository by doing git clone and then that repository. And so go ahead and navigate into this repo by doing cd and then areas accreta. And from there, we'll want to take all the relevant files as before that we'll need with sort of getting rid of the rest. And we can do that by moving into the Mediator portion of the instance configs folder, moving everything out, moving ourselves out, and then removing everything else we don't need, so that we're only left with the relevant files that we'll need. And then in order to proceed with setting everything up, we will need to make sure we have a permanent public IP address for this Mediator VM. So we'll show you how to do this within AWS, although certainly if you're using any other cloud provider, the overarching goals of what we're going to do is that we're going to A, assign a persistent static or public IP address to this VM. B, then we're going to associate that IP address with some sort of appropriate DNS name. That's what we're going to do. And I'll show you how to do this within AWS now.
Of course, in order to be able to set a static or persistent external IP, we're going to be able to need the IP in the first place of the Mediator VM. So we can do that by going to the instances page, clicking on the instance ID of the Mediator VM, and snagging the IP.
Click the menu on the left-hand side and navigate to Network and Security, and then Elastic IPs. And click on the orange Allocate Elastic IP Address button. Ensure the border group is within the same region you have put all of your VMs. And then under this section, the optional tags, we recommend giving this IP you're allocating a name, so you know in the future what this IP is for. And you can do this by going to key and typing a name, and for the value optional, you can type in what you'd like to name this. Perhaps Mediator or Local Mediator. And then click on the orange Allocate button. Once this brings you back to the menu of that section, click on the top Actions dropdown, and then press Associate Elastic IP Address. Under Resource Type, enter Instance is selected. Under Instance, choose the instance of the Mediator VM that you created from before. And then if you'd like, you can also ask for this Elastic IP address to be reassociated. So if you accidentally pressed, for example, the all far too common if you accidentally press terminate instance instead of stop instance at the end of the day, this might save you some hassle from having to do the steps from earlier. And then go ahead and press the orange Associate button. Awesome! You've now associated the public IP address with the Mediator VM permanently to this specific instance. At this time, this would be a good time to ask your managers, or whomever has the correct reserve a useful appropriate DNS name to this public IP. And from there, we'll need to populate the .env file as we did previously. The best way to modify this will probably be via Vim, although you're more than welcome to copy and paste everything that I've put below. So we can go ahead and do vim.env and then paste all of the relevant portions, and then making sure to replace your Mediator URL portion with the DNS entry that you either created or your manager created earlier for you that's pointing to that persistent public IP address from before. And then we can press escape and then :WQ to go ahead and save our changes. And then after filling out the .env, we can go ahead and fill out our usual firewall rules. And then after filling out the .env, there's actually a couple more places that we need to change, which will be in the docker compose.yaml file. From before, we can just do :s, and then we're going to want to replace the insert DNS entry here with the DNS entry that you just created, which I'll go ahead and do that real quickly, but I'm going to actually blank out our DNS entry. And then also we're going to need to put in something for our storage credentials. And you can do the exact same, replacing insert string here with whatever you want that string to be. So now, as before, we'll want to add the following firewall rules. So we'll want to allow Locust access to this Mediator on port 3000. You can do that with custom TCP, port range 3000, source custom TCP, and then we'll want the external IP of Locust, and then the /32 corresponding to one IP address. Then we'll want to add the rule allowing the Mediator to be able to access itself within its external IP on port 3000, custom TCP, 3000, custom TCP, and then we'll want the Mediator external IP in the /32. And then we'll want to add the rule allowing the mediator to be able to access, and then we'll want to add the rule allowing the mediator to be able to access Locust on ports 8089 to 8090, custom TCP, 8089 to 8090, and then we'll want the mediator external IP /32. And then finally, we'll want to allow the mediator to be able to access the Occupy agent on ports 8150 to 8151. Custom TCP, 8150 to 8151, and then the Mediator external IP again, /32. Awesome. From here, we should be good to go if you've already populated the .env file. And to proceed, we are actually going to do a more special build command to build this image locally. We're gonna do sudo docker build -f dockerfile no cache -t indicio -tech /ares -mediator dot. So we're going to build this image locally because we are relying on the so we are going to build this image locally from this Docker file. And then after it's done building, we can go ahead and do a sudo docker compose up. The output when finally upping this mediator will result in a mediation URL. You'll want to copy this and then use this in the .env of your locust VM, the very variable at the top of your .env. Additionally, at this time, this mediator does not support version 2 of the pickup protocol, so make sure to comment out line 45 of load agent/agent.js. That is the mediator pickup strategy. And then after you've commented that out, you'll unfortunately have to down, rebuild, and then up the locust VM again. Other than that, you should be go. This mediator is all up and running. Just make sure to keep an eye on its resources as you are load testing it, as it could quickly become a bottleneck. And then just a friendly reminder, once you're done with the day and you're done spinning whatever you needed to spin up and you're ready to shut everything down, don't forget to press stop instances on all your instances when you're done with the day. And when you come back and you have to spin everything up, don't forget that you'll have to remove all of the entries from the database, and then you'll have to re-go through the steps of anchoring your DID, creating a schema and cred-def, etc. for the ACP VM. So, awesome. Alrighty, I hope this helped, and please let us know if you have any questions. Thank you.